here we go. Time for episode 1 of season 1.0 of Battlebots. Last week we reviewed the prelude to battle of the Comedy Central season, and now we're going to be stepping into the season proper. It's definitely interesting to review this season. Not only are we getting to take a step back to the early days of Battlebot, but as I'm reviewing Robot Wars Series 2 at the same time, it's a great comparison about where these respective regions were at, as Season 1.0 isn't that too far afterwards. Obviously, Robot Wars would do a great deal of catch-up, but it's very interesting to watch, really. With that being said, let's not waste any more time, and let's get into the review. This one immediately starts on a weird note as they start off the episode saying the fight starts now, and then they go to Bill and Sean. Come on, I was excited to see robots smashing. Thankfully, they quickly skim through all the details and all the different people on the show, and finally, we get to start with the first fight between Ziggo and Missing Link. This is a lightweight battle. Ziggo is a rather nice looking shell spinner with an especially long self-righting pole for the robot. Ziggo is just a robot that immediately catches my eye every time, because the fact that this was such a nice looking robot for the competition, and it was there from season 1.0, that's really good. Like, you can tell that full body spinners already seem to have a general idea on what they were working with from the word go, to be honest with you, with entries like this, and obviously robots like Blendo that came before it. Missing Link, meanwhile, is a thwackbot which apparently had a phone book at the end. Those things are pretty thick, but I assume they knew victory was unlikely against a powerful spinner like Ziggo. It also doesn't even look like the robot could be invertible, but that might just be me. The fight begins, and Missing Link raced right over to Ziggo, who remained in place, spinning up to speed. Missing Link does get some pretty decent thwacks in on Ziggo, actually managing to knock Ziggo about a bit, but not actually managing to do much of anything substantial. With Ziggo soon returning fire, ripping off one of Missing Link's wheels. Missing Link keeps spinning in place trying to fight some more, and when Ziggo goes in for some more, Missing Link gets demolished. Their armor buckles, the other wheel comes off, and then the kill saw attacks an already downed Missing Link. That's just insult on top of injury, really. Overall, that's a devastating win for Ziggo, who has got a lot of power in that shell spinner. Missing Link was a fun to watch robot with that aggression, but it just stood no chance with no way of dealing with Ziggo. Still, overall a fun fight with both robots absolutely showing off in this, in my opinion. After that, we got Mauler versus Nightmare, which had me excited as it's two Battlebots legends in this one. Mauler is a full-body flail spinner taking on the terrifying Nightmare, and you can already tell that Nightmare's going to be an exciting machine even if you have no context on Nightmare, with Bill Nye being brought in to briefly talk about the robot. It really is like the tombstone of its era, really. A powerful glass cannon that can easily take out a robot just like that if they don't destroy Nightmare in time. It's destroy or be destroyed with them. They also do a segment about the Mauler team, which is nice. I do like Battlebots taking the time to familiarise you with both teams and their machines in this. It helps with establishing the teams that are likely to return year on year to help make them seem like a big deal. It likely helped with making sure that so many of these robots are still fondly remembered to this day. Anyway, the fight begins and both robots slowly make their way over, getting up to speed. Upon the first clash, cause Mauler is slightly to the side, they manage to dodge Nightmare's spinner and rip one of Nightmare's wheels off. With another hit, Nightmare is knocked and gets stuck up on the wall, unable to move. The Mauler team asks, "You want some more?" Before getting some last damage in, some happening just after the match is called in what they're calling controversy. Oh yeah, Jim Smentowski with a smile ear to ear, he just seems so upset about what happened. If people want me to explain why this isn't a controversy, it's because Jim Smentowski really doesn't mind if Nightmare's attacked after the fact. If Jim Smentowski had a problem with it and had told the Mauler team, "No, when my bot's done, you leave it alone," then we'd have an argument there, but because Jim Smentowski really doesn't seem to care, it's all good. Apparently Mauler needs to use the wall to stop their spinner, and that definitely isn't something the sport would allow anymore, right? Like, you would have to have a more efficient way of stopping the weapon. I'm pretty sure they literally have a spin down time like limit when it comes to the rules. Man, times change. Still a fun, if slightly disappointing fight. On one hand, Mauler did great, but I was really hoping to see Nightmare's legendary weapon get used at least once. But unfortunately, Nightmare was out far too quickly. We then got a third fight between Overkill and Frenzy. Two crazy swinging robots in this one. On one end we have an iconic Thwackbot with Overkill, a robot that is seeing a revival as the punching bag of choice on Battlebots' Destructathon. Its iconic look all comes together with the big chunky wheel, the large beefy wedge, and of course that classic Overkill blade. Frenzy, meanwhile, is a hammer robot that is well known for swinging wildly with that incredibly long-reaching hammer. Both of these robots are types of designs that really would struggle in today's meta, but I still absolutely love. The fight begins with both robots cautiously moving out of their squares before clashing into each other, swinging their weapons all over the place. Occasionally they smack each other, but both robots are firing wildly all over the place. For Overkill, that's just because Thwackbots rely on inertia to swing, which can lead to some misses, while with Frenzy, it going wild is a feature, not a bug. Overkill does fall victim to the kill saw, but the two bots soon crash into each other, with Overkill getting a nice swing or two in, but then Overkill gets stuck in the corner where Frenzy goes wild. Overkill is no doubt struggling for a bit as Frenzy keeps swinging away at them. Overkill is still occasionally exchanging blows with Frenzy, but I'd say Frenzy is getting the better of the encounters with more shots in as the fight goes to the distance and to the judges. The judges end up giving it to Overkill, which I was actually slightly surprised by, as I was certain that Frenzy had done enough to take the win. But I would have been happy regardless of the outcome of this fight, because while this maybe isn't a fight for everyone, for me, as someone who loves robots like these, I love the wild flailing action. Both robots went ballistic on each other, and I wish we got more crazy hammer and Thwackbots like these. Right now it seems our hopes largely rest with the likes of Shatter and Beta to continue that trend, though Graf might have some potential as a hammer robot in future seasons if you watched my Vengeance Vegas 2 review. Now with that, the episode is over, and to tell you the truth, I had to watch this immediately after the prelude to battle, as I was worried the entire season was going to be like that pilot episode. So to see that the show from now on is going to be full of more exciting action with only breaks from the action when needed has me largely relieved. Now this is what I was hoping to see from the Comedy Central season. Some fights that, even if not all heavy hitters, got to show off the energy of the robots, with the only real detraction being when a fight fails to live up to the hype. That's what I expected from old school Battlebots, and this, if the season keeps it up like this, is going to be everything I was hoping for. With the only real distractions being a quick glance at the robots and teams just to know a little bit more about them. That's brilliant. When you've got so little time to work with, you've got to make every single minute count, and this one, because they're not trying to jam-pack as much info as possible like last episode, this works so much better. If you're going to watch Battlebots, start off with this episode. It's much, much better a starting point in my opinion. Highly, highly recommended. Be sure to check it out. If you can find a way, of course. I should probably stress that at the time of recording, there's no official way of watching it. Battlebots apparently have the tapes, but I imagine there's a few issues here and there with getting them out there. But if you can watch it, definitely recommend watching it. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this review. It's going to be a little bit shorter just because the episodes are so short themselves. But if you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to hit that notification bell to be notified of future videos on the channel. If you share the video around, that helps out a whole bunch. Like I mentioned before, that helps me out in a major way, but any support you can give is super, super appreciated. If you become a member, you get access to custom emotes during streams and the premieres of these reviews. And also, the warm feeling of knowing that you're helping me out with making these videos. Anyway, I hope to see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Bye guys!